It has been 35 long days now since the oil rig exploded off the coast of Louisiana, and oil is still leaking. At least 6 million gallons of crude have spewed onto the Gulf, though some scientists believe it could be as much as 11 million gallons. The Obama administration has appointed a commission to investigate the spill and is threatening to take over the operation. And as early as tomorrow, BP may try to clog the leak by pouring cement and mud down the blown well. Katie Couric is in Grand Isle, Louisiana with the very latest. Katie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Harry. You know, anger and frustration is growing in this region by the minute. Why can't they, A, clean up this oil, but more importantly, why can't anyone plug this leak? So yesterday I took a chopper ride with Rear Admiral Mary Landry, who's in charge of coordinating this effort, and we went out to the affected area and we saw a veritable flotilla of ships that are working very hard to try to get this thing under control, Harry. And of course, the next biggest attempt, as you mentioned, is this so-called top kill, where they basically channel this mixture of heavy mud into the well in an effort to basically plug it, and then they'll top that off with cement. And if that doesn't work, they're going to go to something called a junk shot, which is a lot of materials trying to bear pressure where the leak is located. And then if that doesn't work, of course, they're drilling these relief wells at the site of the oil to try to suck that oil and prevent it from going out of the current pipe where it's leaking from. So they're all hoping that these efforts are going to work, but nothing's a sure thing. In fact, this top kill has never been tried in waters so deep.
Right. Talk to me a little bit about being there and what you see and what it's like.
Well, you know, here on Grand Isle, it's a beautiful little island, but the people are getting, as I said, increasingly frustrated. They want the government to do more. They want BP to do more. And they were able to clean up these beaches. I don't know if you remember last week, Harry, where it looked like chocolate pudding all over these beaches. Yeah. They were able to clean that up. The tide takes some of this oil out. But it's, of course, the marshlands, is very fragile marshlands that are such a critical part of the ecosystem down here that they're really trying to protect. And Admiral Landry said there's so many different parties that you have to coordinate with. For example, the mayor of Grand Isle apparently told the Coast Guard they didn't want booms used around the beach because it would be unsightly for beachgoers, which seems slightly ridiculous, of course. But she said they have to respect the wishes of local leaders here.
Yeah, and on the other side of the coin, not far from there, they're asking people to build, they want the Army Corps of Engineers to build these giant berms out in the water to prevent the stuff from coming ashore. So you have all kinds of conflicts.
That's right. That's right, and of course you have to get permits and you have to study the environmental impact of even building those berms. So it's a very, very complicated situation. But I think today, Harry, you're going to see the White House take a more proactive stance, much more aggressive. You're going to see Thad Allen, who's head of the Coast Guard, at the press briefing at the White House with Robert Gibbs, because they want to make sure that the American people know what the government is doing. There are more than 1,000 ships down here. There are 24,000 people working on this effort. Wow. But of course, the big problem is if they can't plug the leak, you know, what good does it do? So everybody's looking towards Wednesday now, Harry, when I think they're going to try this top kill procedure. But it's a very iffy proposition.
All right, Katie, thank you so much, very much for getting up this morning and giving us your expertise. And of course, we'll look for more in-depth coverage from you tonight on the Evening News. Have a good day.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.